Welcome to Under the Fig Tree podcast from the enrollment office at Concordia Seminary. Join us as we talk theology and life under the fig tree.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Under the Fig Tree. I'm your host, Pastor Tom Schlund, joined by
Kati Gaschler, recruitment coordinator.
And it's great to have you here for another episode. Katie, how you doing?
Good.
Good.
Yeah, staying warm.
That's good.
Barely.
I know, while we're recording this, it's a chilly time in St. Louis. So,
yeah.
Harder
Hanging
to
in
do
there.
around these parts.
Yeah.
But you come from places that are cold, so.
I do, but I've never gotten used to it, ever.
That's true. Somebody told me it doesn't take long once you move to St. Louis to lose any accommodating to the cold that you've had before. So.
Yeah, I definitely prefer this climate, even when it gets totally sweltering in the summer.
Yeah.
I picked this one.
Yeah. I'm here with you on that.
Yeah.
Because even when it gets cold, it doesn't stay cold.
No,
that
it doesn't.
long. So, well, that's good. Well, we, as you know, if you've been listening for a while or watching the podcast, that we've had some changes to our staff team. Part of the reason why I'm here on Under the Fig Tree now, when Ben and Micah left last summer, we were left with a couple of open spots. So we have finally filled those. And one of the things that we wanted to do for people who are thinking about coming to the seminary is introduce our two new colleagues that we filled those spaces with. And so that's going to come over 2 episodes. Today is going to be the first of those 2 as we introduce you to Reverend Joel Heckmann, one of our newest admissions officers. Not the newest, though. Craig has you beat by a couple of weeks, but we're glad that you're a part of our team, and welcome to Under the Fig Tree.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
How's the adjustment going for you? You've been here a few months now.
It's been a lot of news. I think we got here September 24th, and we're in the, second week of January now. I think I started September 30th, so it's been not quite 4 months now, but still settling into the role. Had a new baby on November 12th. God be
Just
praised.
in case you didn't have enough excitement going on.
Right. And then closed on a house November 14th, right out of the hospital. So maybe a year from now we'll be settled, but we're liking it. My wife, Emily, grew up, spent a little bit of her time when she was younger in St. Louis. So she knows the area. She has some family here too, which really helps the transition. We've gotten to see some of them. And then kids are young enough, I don't know that they know any difference. New house, new place. This is fun. So, but we're really liking it so far.
So you mentioned a wife, Emily, and
Yes.
a new baby.
Mm-hmm.
You have some other kids too,
Yes.
right? Tell us a little bit about your family.
We have 4 kids. Jacob is 5, and will be 6 in March. So he lets us know every day. He's gonna have a Star Wars party, so we're gearing up for that.
Did you pick that theme or did he pick that theme?
That's a great question.
I know.
Maybe a little bit of both. I won't complain about it.
We could do a whole episode on Joel's love for Star Wars too. I think.
Yes.
And another one on Legos.
Yeah.
Yes,
Stay
that might
tuned.
come up later. So Jacob started kindergarten this year, actually at St. Paul de Pere, where we both go to church. And then Ezra is 4. He turned 4 in September. He is in preschool at the Early Childhood Center at St. Paul de Pere. Lily is 2. She goes to Parents' Day Out at St. Paul. Monday. Yes. And now Friday this semester. So Emily gets a little bit more of a break on Fridays. And then Elias is about a month and a half old and still not sleeping great, but doing really well otherwise. So
That's what new babies do.
yes. And Emily.
Or don't do, I guess.
Yeah.
Emily stays home, raises the kids, makes sure the house doesn't cave in on itself, makes all the appointments, and generally makes sure our family sticks together. So she does a great job with that.
Well, that's great that you have such a wonderful family and that they're here with you and adjusting well. Maybe, do you want to tell us a little bit about how you originally got to the seminary? And then you can throw in there maybe too where you were serving before you came here.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
starting with your seminary journey and then what you were doing before
Definitely.
you came to be an admissions officer.
Well, I think I started thinking about the pastoral ministry back in 8th grade when I started confirmation with my pastor, Reverend Scott Seiler, who was a great mentor. So I started seeing him a lot more in that pastoral role and thought, I like being involved at church. I like helping out, just being in that environment. And I remember not too long after Reverend Joel Fritchie, who was one of the admissions officers at the seminary, had a stop scheduled for my church, Faith Lutheran in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I thought maybe I should talk to him. So I go with my mom, sit down with Reverend Fritchie for about an hour, and he's asking me questions, and, didn't really, I know that it moved the needle a ton, but it didn't deter me at all. It gave me a lot of good information about what's the seminary like, what's being a pastor like. Is this something I really want to do? Because I'm still in 8th grade, have no idea what I want to do with my life, and it's still kind of formulating in my head. So after that, start going through high school, and it's still on my mind, but I'm not, really receiving a whole lot of feedback from people. There wasn't really, any individuals pushing me that way, saying, oh, you should definitely go to seminary, you should be a pastor, you'd be crazy not to do this. So that was a little bit of a, maybe a red flag at first, because I thought, I get all these.
Nobody thinks I should do this.
Yeah, maybe I should go a different path, because I'd gotten, all these seminary publications, like the Seminary magazine, and I don't know if they still do it, but they interviewed a seminarian, I think, with each issue. And I think one of the last questions they asked was, what made you want to become a pastor and come to seminary? And I would see almost every single time, my pastor pushed me that direction, my parents, a teacher, a mentor, something. So I started thinking, I don't have a whole lot of people pushing me this way. But then I'd have, these great experiences where I'd get to talk about God with people. Like I worked at a Dairy Queen in Sioux Falls, and I had a Buddhist coworker who asked questions about faith and God, and that really got me excited. And, I ran for a Catholic high school in Sioux Falls, and my teammates had asked me, what are Lutherans all about? Here's what we believe. What do you believe? And I always loved engaging with that and getting into those discussions. And so it kind of turned from no one's pushing me to this, and that's a concern for me, to no one's pushing me to this and I still want to do it. And that almost became kind of a confidence builder. Like it's a desire that, it's great when you have people kind of guiding you and directing you that way, but it's not necessarily something you have to have. And I kind of figured I'm not doing this just because someone else is telling me I'm doing it, because I think this is where, my desires, my skills, my joys come together. And so kind of the rest of high school, I kept having those conversations with my pastor, my parents. And when I kind of planted the idea in people's heads, they're like, oh yeah, I think you'd be good at that. You should consider it more. And so then I went to a couple of visitation events here. I think when I was in high school, there was a Exploring Church Careers event is what it was called. So it was a few days on campus, and then Taste of the Sem, I think, is another big visitation event we used to have, or we still have them. I think they're by different names. And that kind of solidified it more and more. Like, I love the campus. It's really neat getting to meet professors and students and talk to other people who are thinking about it. So it was kind of along the way. There weren't really any, I want to say, like light bulb moments where it all of a sudden clicked, like, oh, this is where, like, the day and time and place that I knew I wanted to be a pastor. It was just like different conversations, different events that slowly built up. I think this is the right thing to do. So then I went to undergrad at Concordia.
Sorry to interrupt, but as you mentioned it, though, people affirmed that and said, right, hey, mm-hmm. you should do that, which makes me think about how important it is for our churches and church workers and other people to be more active. Like if they see somebody mm-hmm. actually saying something about it and not just thinking, oh, somebody else might mention it, but mm-hmm. If you think somebody would be good at this, that go tell them. Right.
Yeah, I like that you said you didn't have a light bulb moment, because I'm kind of expecting maybe a lot of people wait for that. Mm-hmm. Like, well, I'm going to wait until I'm 100% sure and I have this big moment, and you might not get that. It might just be this kind of slow build to that decision. So I think that's a good example to kind of show people that they don't necessarily need that.
Also, you mentioned Pastor Seiler. Was that before or after he was an admissions officer?
After.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Nice.
And actually, when I heard about this role and was thinking about applying for it, I talked to him about it and said it was exciting and neat work to do. So yeah, he was influential in me coming here 2 different times.
Because he was actually an admissions officer I talked to when I was younger, and my dad was dragging me on to go talk to somebody from the South. So.
Yeah, he's great.
So you've made it through high school, I think, is where I interrupted you, and now you're off to college.
Worries. Yeah, so I went to undergrad at Concordia, Nebraska, studied music, and then was in the pre-seminary program, which was really helpful. I got to take Greek and Hebrew, and then I think we had a couple semesters of philosophy and then public speaking. That's all part of their program. And I went in thinking I'm pretty sure seminary is where I'm going to end up, but I'm not 100% confident. So I'm going to go into this program, see how I like the classes and some of the theology I get here and how it kind of all sets with me. And it was, again, just kind of something that kept growing and growing. And it's like, unless something major comes up that's like, don't do this, I'm just going to keep going until something stops me, and nothing ever stopped me. And
here you are.
Here I am. Yeah. Got to seminary and made it through in one piece.
So you finished seminary, you were called someplace. Where were you called?
Okarche, Oklahoma.
Nice.
Which I'm sure
I knew I would have
heard of.
butchered that if I would have tried to pronounce it myself.
It's a mashing together actually of Oklahoma, Arapaho, and Cheyenne.
Nice.
And it's the oldest parish in the Oklahoma district. I think they're going on around 130 years now. So for a little while, I was the youngest pastor in the oldest church in the district when I got there. But yeah, I got a call out of seminary in 2017, graduated here 2017. And we moved, I think it was September, and served there for 7 years. Fantastic parish, great people. They took really good care of us. The ministry side of it was, always had its ups and downs, as every ministry has, but the people were really teachable. They were really welcoming to a young pastor who, fresh out of the seminary, knows just enough to be dangerous, has all these great things that the seminaries taught us, but, not much experience using those tools that they give us. And they're very gracious, listening to my ideas and kind of letting me teach about them and letting me kind of cut my teeth in the ministry. So it's a rural parish. We worship about 120 per weekend, a town of about 1,200, farming community. They have winter wheat there, which was kind of a shock to me because I grew up in South Dakota where it's corn and soybeans and the growing seasons are completely reversed. So when they're gearing up to harvest, that's when South Dakota's gearing up to plant and vice versa. So it was really fun getting to learn kind of the culture of a small farming community, the way things run and how their lives go, and just a great group of people. Love them very much, and hopefully I get to go back and see them sometime soon. But they did a great job, taking care of me and letting me serve them as a shepherd. So
yeah, it's always wonderful to have a good place to serve and blessing of a parish like that. Mm-hmm. How did you end up here in this role?
Good question. Well, I remember back in May, I'd actually gotten a call to serve as a pastor in my hometown in Sioux Falls. And I think it was maybe a day or two after I declined that call, I got a call from Pastor Keeker saying, hey, there's a position in our admissions office that just opened up, and I think you'd be a good fit for it. Why don't you talk to Emily about it and see what you think? So talked about it and prayed about it quite a bit and went ahead and submitted the application, all the hoops that you jump through for a seminary application for a job here. And I think it was about a 3-month process where there were different things scattered throughout that. I know I had an interview with Dr. Mudge, our provost, and Pastor Keeker was on that call, and there were different things I submitted over the course of that time and did some evaluations and all kinds of stuff. And then I think it was, the end of August, finally, I got an email from Dr. Mudge saying, we're going to call you to be an admissions officer. And so we deliberated and announced early September that we had accepted the call. And my last Sunday, I think, was September 22nd. And then we got here.
Yeah, I remember that whole call process on our end and like just how long it took. We were just waiting for our team to be whole. And then as soon as you said yes, I mean, you were quick.
Yeah.
Man. Well, you had a baby on the way, so you kind of
Yeah.
needed to get
Yeah.
here.
Get here and get settled before then.
Yeah.
Find an OB, find a school,
Yeah.
find a home, and we were able to get here pretty quickly and do that. So that was nice.
So you're here. I imagine that it's a lot different than being a pastor in a parish. So my question is, why do you think it's important for a pastor to be in this role of an admissions officer at the seminary?
Good question. Pastor Keeker talked to me about that pretty extensively when he was talking about just through the application process and why they had wanted MDiv, ordained guys to apply for it. I think the biggest reason is when you're talking to applicants or potential applicants, when you come from the parish, you bring a lot of the experiences that they're wondering about in terms of, do I really want to be a pastor? What's it actually like on that side of things? What's it like to preach and teach on a weekly basis? What's it like to counsel people and deal with these really difficult, messy situations that come up when you're shepherding God's flock and you're dealing with sinners who need God's love and God's word in different ways, law and gospel. And when you can bring that experience to the conversation, I think it makes a huge difference in terms of helping guys visualize, what's this actually like? Is this something I can see myself serving in? And you give them that much more clarity when you can say with, confidence, I've been there, I've done this, I've gone through the highs and lows and ups and downs and joys and sorrows, and here's what you can expect, from one perspective, of course, but that is a pastor's perspective. And I think that's really valuable. And I think it gives these guys confidence that they're not, kind of just painting this rosy picture of, oh, you should come here and everything's great. You can tell them, like, these were some hard parts of ministry, and this is something that you're most likely going to face. But there's also these great joys and this just really fulfilling feeling that you get when you're serving God's people that way. So I think having pastors in that role gives that piece of it that no one else can really give. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, I like how you put that. It's not like it's just another recruiter trying to recruit you into a role by painting the nicest picture possible, but somebody who can speak to it very honestly. And we also appreciate having graduates of this institution, so you don't just talk about what happens after you leave, but also what the experience is like to be a student here.
Right.
So we've reoriented our team a little bit and added these extra admissions officer positions. We used to have 2, now we have 4. And so what is it that you would say you do around here? What's part of the responsibility that you've been given coming in?
So I remember on the first video call I had with Dr. Mudge and Pastor Keeker, when they were describing the role, they used the phrase utility infielder. I immediately knew what that was because I'm a Cardinals fan.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah. So it's a guy that can do a little bit of everything, I guess. So the main thing I'm doing is talking to applicants and potential applicants, where I'll have what we call initial conversations, where someone submits their information and they're interested in a program that I can talk to them more about. So we set up a time to talk, and we have kind of a lengthy initial conversation just to find out, who are you? Tell me about yourself. I want to get to know your story. Tell me about your family, your interests, your background, anything that would help me guide you through discerning whether or not to come to seminary. So those are some of the bigger things I do. And those happen a lot more when I first got here. Things slow down, I think, as kind of we go through different parts of the application cycle, we'll have more or less at different parts. Right now, a lot of what I'm doing is talking to our current applicants who are interested in coming fall of 2025. So I'll talk to them once a month and just kind of check in. How are you? How's your family? How's the application process coming along? And kind of help them discern what's the next step. If they haven't come to campus and they're maybe kind of on the fence, if a campus visit would help, I kind of help encourage them to come and do that and set that up and kind of just see, is there anything I can pray for, and kind of see how they're doing, just to make sure we're reaching out monthly to make sure they're not in the dark about what comes next, or I've got a question, but I don't really know how to ask it or something like that. Otherwise, there's a lot of fun things that I'll be getting to do in the future. I'll get to visit a couple of our Concordias, Nebraska and Chicago. I'll kind of be our seminary contact with the pre-seminarians there, kind of checking in to see how they're doing, how their courses are going, how they're doing in the discernment process of coming to seminary, answering their questions. So that's something I'll do once a semester, and I'll get to go with you to Nebraska pretty soon here. Probably be as much snow there, maybe more snow than we have here now, I'd say.
That's true.
And then I'm getting to work with our NLOMA camps, National Lutheran Outdoor Ministry Association. I was a camp counselor at Camp Wartburg and then Camp Okoboji in Iowa. Camp Wartburg's here just across the river in Illinois.
And Okoboji is about an hour from where I served when I was in Iowa.
Yeah,
so
it's awesome.
it's a great place.
So having that background, I loved outdoor ministry. I loved getting to go to camp. And I personally think one of the best preps for being a pastor or a church worker in general is being a camp counselor. You're exposed to so many different personalities and situations where you have a game plan for the evening and it starts storming and you have to figure out how to occupy 100 campers for a couple hours. It's great to get you thinking on your feet, but also you get to lead Bible studies, lead hymns and songs that the kids get to sing through. You get to do some counseling too with kids that come from rough homes. They're struggling, and you get to be kind of a mentor and a positive influence to them. So that all said, I'm excited to work with the camps and see if we can recruit church workers from there, particularly pastors. And I'll get to go, I think they're actually having their conference in February, pretty soon here up in Wisconsin. So I'll get to go and participate at that. I'm also going to be working with Hispanic clergy to try and recruit men from the Hispanic community who are bilingual and can serve English and Spanish-speaking communities. I'm going to be recruiting them to the MDiv program. So I'm starting to make some connections in those communities with Hispanic clergy. That's going to be a really neat and exciting thing I do. And otherwise, little things here and there that come up, keeping my inbox as low as possible. But yeah, just a lot of neat ways to help recruit men into the pastoral ministry and a good variety of responsibilities that I get. So
yeah, there's plenty of work to be done. So we're glad that you're here to help out in doing that. Do you have anything else you want to know about Joel? Or you know everything there is to know?
I'll email him.
Fill up the inbox.
You know where to find me.
As you have these conversations with students and you think about the people who might be listening to our podcast, what's some advice that you typically give to students who are discerning, or prospective students who are discerning this path to ministry?
I guess thinking back to my experience and what helped me.
Don't be bothered if nobody tells you to do it.
Right. Yeah. There's advice number one. I think 3 things really helped me. First, of course, prayer. The Lord works through prayer, and he gives us discernment through that. So pray for discernment and wisdom. Is this the vocation to which you're calling me, God? Is this where, my gifts and my joys and the needs of the church come together? So definitely be faithful in prayer. That's a great way that God gives us wisdom. Read the scriptures. It's a great thing to do in general. But I think especially reading the pastoral epistles and seeing how Paul talks about the demeanor and the requirements for an overseer that he outlines to Timothy and Titus. That's going to be a great way to kind of reflect on, are these things I see in my life? Are these the gifts and skills that God has given me? And I don't think you can read through those books enough as you're thinking about coming to seminary. But then also just talk to people, not just anyone, of course, but people you love and who love you, Christians who you trust and respect, who are going to give you a straight answer. Is this somewhere you see me serving really well, or is this something that maybe it's not the vocation for me? I just remember talking to a lot of people on my way here. It was different people here and there, but pastors, my family, my friends, different mentors in my life. And I think the more conversations you have, the more clarity you're going to get. But then also, I guess one last piece, like we mentioned before, don't necessarily look for a light bulb moment, for something to click. If you feel like this is what God has gifted you to do and called you to do, and you have these conversations and go through these experiences and there's nothing hindering you, just go for it. And, see as you're going on that process to seminary and through the application process, sometimes I just tell people, there's nothing hindering you. That's a great sign sometimes. Like, this is just a great thing that God has laid out for you. So
now we've come to the most important part of the show.
Yeah.
Katie's favorite.
It is.
And mine.
It is, because I really like opinions. Mainly, I just like giving mine.
Great.
So we're going to do a little segment called Right for the Picking or Leave It on the Tree. We'll name a couple things, and if you like it, you say right for the picking. If you don't, you leave it on the tree, and you can't waffle. You have to have an opinion.
No waffles.
No waffles.
Unless waffles
unless
are on the
waffles
list.
Is
comes
waffles
up,
one
but-
of the things you're going to ask me about?
No, but that
Okay.
We should add that to the list for number
add that
one.
to my list. Yeah. I'll go first. Right for the picking or leave it on the tree. Pop sockets.
Pop sockets.
Do you know what that is?
I think so. Is that the thing you put on the back of your phone to hold
Yeah. Yeah.
it? Okay, well, considering
Clearly
I
you
barely
don't
know
have
what it
one.
is, and I don't
He's
have
not an
one.
aficionado of pop
No,
sockets.
they look very practical, but I imagine I'd get annoyed at how bulky it is in my pocket, so I'm going to leave it on the tree.
That's fair.
Yeah, the bulk would make me leave it on the tree too. I like my phone case to be as, I don't know, slim as possible.
When did
so.
those start becoming a thing?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been around a while and I still haven't caught on, so I think let's leave it on the tree.
Yeah. Since I'm a girl and our pockets don't fit anything anyway.
Yeah, you have a whole
bag
you can carry
Yeah, a
your
whole
phone in.
bag. So it's right for the picking for me.
Yeah,
Enjoy
my
the
wife
pop socket.
really enjoyed them as well, and she moved on from the pop sockets to this like loop. So there's a case that comes with a loop on the back. Similar idea in terms of practicality, but my first one has nothing to do with pop sockets, but right for the picking. And I realized after I put this on my list that because of when you came, you may or may not have been able to enjoy it with your family yet. But right for the picking or leave it on the tree, the St. Louis Zoo.
Oh, right for the picking. Absolutely. Okay. My immediate family came here once a year for a number of years. And our routine was drive after Dad got off of work, coming all the way from Sioux Falls. It's about a 8.5-hour drive. Get here extremely late, wake up the next day, go to the St. Louis Zoo in sweltering heat, middle of the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm one of 11 kids, so just picture that and how crazy it is. I don't know how my parents did it. We do that, and then we would go to Emo's Pizza. And is that one of the things you're going to ask about?
No, but it has been before.
Yeah.
So I'll hold my opinion on that, but I think only one person in our family really enjoyed it. And then we go to Ted Drew's, of course. Have to go to Ted Drew's when you're here. And then we go to a Cardinals game. So the St. Louis Zoo was always mixed in, and I loved it. It's a little different on this end of it, having kids, but it's kind of fun to see the joy they have seeing all these animals. So I would say right for the picking, definitely.
Who on earth would leave it on the tree?
Some people might not like zoos. I don't know.
It's a free zoo.
It is.
Yeah. No, right.
It makes it hard to pay for zoos other places.
Yeah, actually, so here's my only problem with the St. Louis Zoo. We used to live here. As a kid, I lived here, and my parents were very used to a free zoo. So that when we moved to Fort Wayne, I never went to the Fort Wayne Zoo because how on earth would we pay for it? Yeah, why? So, but yes, it's right for the picking. I love St. Louis Zoo.
Same here. That's why I put it on the list, right for the picking. And unlike your marathon visit as a kid to come and have to do it all in one day, the reason I appreciate it is because, especially when you have young kids, because you're not paying to go, you can just take them and go for 2 hours, 3 hours.
Yep.
All day if you want to.
Yep.
But as soon as they melt down, you can leave if you need to.
Exactly.
And you don't feel bad because you paid $8,000 to get into the zoo.
Oh, now it's my turn. Okay.
Yes. We did a lot of explaining about the zoo.
I'm gonna switch gears to a food related one.
Boy.
Right for the picking or leave it on the tree. Chopsticks.
I'm so bad with them. I'm gonna have to leave that on the tree. I do attempt to use them and look like a complete fool whenever I do. If I could figure out how to use them properly, I'm sure it'd be great, but I have never been successful in my attempts.
I'll have to do team sushi again. And
team
watch
building.
Joel use chopsticks.
He'll use them with 2 hands.
Just stab the sushi.
Dinner and a show.
Well, you mentioned sushi. It's funny because in my time here, I've gotten a lot more practice with them because our team had been obsessed for at least some time with going out for sushi regularly for lunch. So ripe for the picking for me.
Same.
We'll see if you get the sushi experience or not.
Yeah.
They're ripe for the picking. I like chopsticks.
I'll go with my food one then because I'll spare you the conversation about emos. We can save that for another time. But barbecue is also another big food in St. Louis. So ripe for the picking or leave it on the tree. I'll just say barbecue in general. You could specify more, but we'll just go generally.
Ripe for the picking, definitely. In Sioux Falls, I don't know how far south these restaurants go, but they have a chain, Famous Dave's Barbecue.
They made it into Iowa at least.
Yeah. So it's a large chain. It's not one of those special little, hole in the wall places that probably has much better barbecue. But that was my dad's favorite place to go when we had family dinners, when we go out to eat growing up. So I got my fill of that, and it's fantastic.
Did you guys have to rent out the party room when you went out to dinner?
Yeah. Show up.
11 kids.
It's a school bus of kids, and we got to get 4 tables together. And I don't know if I have a favorite type of barbecue. I kind of stay away from the spicy stuff. I'm a bit of a wimp with that. But in general, I love barbecue, and I'm open to any recommendations in the area.
Well, that's perfect because right for the picking, I love barbecue. Our favorite is called Stellar Hog. And there's 2 locations. I think there's 2. I've only been to one. It's in Holly Hills. It's really, really good.
St. Louis is such a food city. You can't go wrong anywhere.
Right.
Ripe for the picking for me. It's hard to narrow down, I think. Sugar Fire's a great place. Pappy's is great. Salt and Smoke. Yeah. If you like your bourbon too, because they have a great bourbon selection.
Well, I'm hungry.
Yes.
My stomach just growled. I'm not gonna pick that up.
I heard somebody.
Awesome. Is that all of our
That's
ripe for
it.
the picking?
That's
wonderful.
Joel, those are really tough. You got to do some more, maybe 3 or 4 years from now when I'm on again.
Okay.
You have to ease you into being on under the fig tree. We'll get into the more contentious ones another time. But thanks for being here with us today, Joel. And thanks for being a part of our team. We're thankful that you're here. And to everybody who's watching and listening, we appreciate you watching and listening. Share this, like, subscribe, do all the things that you do with a podcast so that others can get connected with us here. And if you're thinking about the seminary, don't wait. Reach out and give us your contact information. Somebody like Joel would love to talk to you more about that and help you through the discerning process. And if you're a church worker or a church member, identify those people like Joel who you might notice who would be good pastors. Encourage them and then connect them with us so that we can continue encouraging them as well. We'll look forward to seeing you next time under the fig tree.